Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another instant deck, and today, of course, it's Fishbowl Thursday, which means we have a really sweet viewer-submitted deck to look at this week, and this deck, Eerie Allies from Alex HB. I like this deck because it's one of the more unique takes on allies I've seen in a while. Normally the ally tribe, when you see people play them, it's usually like kind of Boros-based aggro allies looking to curve out and attack and attack and attack. Well, this deck, it's exactly the opposite. This deck is looking to go for late game blink, enter the battlefield, almost combo style value with allies, and I think it's a really cool idea. So thanks so much to Alex HB for sending in a sweet deck, and let's talk Eerie Allies for Modern, starting with our Blink package. So one of the most powerful things our deck can do is build a big board full of allies and then blink them all. That could potentially just win us the game on the spot. So we have Yarion Sky Nomad as our companion. That means we gotta play more cards in our deck, but that's fine. Playing 80 cards in our deck, not a super huge deal. There's enough good allies and support cards that we can make it work even with 80 cards. To back up Yarion, we have Ephemera just to blink one thing, actually twice thanks to Rebound. And then Eerie Interlude, it's kind of like a Yarion for just creatures, just a 3-mana instant. We can exile any of our creatures and then return them all to the battlefield on the next end step. So this gives us a ton of ways to blink one thing or blink our entire team for value. So why are we so all in on this blink plan? And that's where we get to our allies. So why allies actually care about blinking? Well, ally number one, Halikar Excavator. Whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under our control, target player gets milled equal to the number of allies we control. So essentially, let's say we have, 5 allies, and we blink them all with Yarion. They're all going to come back into play. Each of them is going to trigger Halikar Excavator. We're going to mill a ridiculous number of cards, like 25 cards all at once. It gets really, really crazy with a whole bunch of allies coming into play at once, which means if we can have a couple of Halikar Excavators going, we can theoretically, like Yarion, Eerie Interlude, blink all of our allies, have them all come back into play, and mill our opponent's entire deck at once. So that's one of our big payoffs. Our other big payoff, a little bit more expensive, it essentially does the same thing as Halikar Excavator. That's Diabolist. And this one, when it comes into play, or another ally comes into play, we drain our opponent equal to the number of allies we control. So again, let's say we have 5 allies and a Diabolist. We blink everything, it all comes back into play. We 25 our opponent, we win the game with direct damage on the spot. The only downside is Diabolist is pretty expensive. 5-minute 3-2, not exciting stats, so it's a little weak outside of those combo scenarios, but a very sweet finisher if we can get it set up. We also have a couple of other ETB allies. Cleric, basically Halikar Excavator, except it gains life in the same way. So this can equal a ridiculous amount of life being gained, especially good against aggro. But really, if we can gain enough life, it's going to take a long time for most decks in the format to kill us. And then Balagad Thief, when it or another ally enters the battlefield under our control, we thought sees equal the number of allies we control. So this means we can just kind of mind twist our opponent's entire hand with that blink plan, which is going to mean our opponent can't really interact with what we're doing, which will buy us time to set up Excavator kills, Diabolist kills, Cleric life gain, whatever we want to do to actually close out the game. Otherwise, we have some clones in Jwari Shapeshifter and Phantasmal Image. These are to clone our best allies. Like we talked about the power of having 2 Halikar Excavators going, or 2 Diabolists. Well, copying one of them with a Jwari Shapeshifter gives us those 2, which sets up those combo kills. Phantasmal Image, a little awkward because of its illusion ability, where if it's targeted, it gets sacrificed, so we can't actually like ephemerate it, but it still works fine with Eerie Interlude that doesn't target. But this just doubles up our best allies. Then we have what I would say is our filler allies. Hot of Freeblade, just 1 mana, trigger all of our ally stuff, and it gets pretty big as allies come into play. Hagbaz Druid just makes a ton of mana, allows us to cast our big expensive stuff quicker. Cabria Evangel, if we do end up going on the beatdown plan, being able to give our team protection from a color, even multiple colors, is a good way to get in combat damage and close out the game if we do end up having to do that. Otherwise, Rally the Ancestor is really cute in this deck. It does 2 things. First off, it can kind of let us rebuild after a Wrath. Let's say your opponent harass our board, all of our allies die, we rally everything back, get that big ETB combo kill. The other thing we can do is we can aggressively mill ourselves in the early game to fill our graveyard if we have Rally the Ancestors, knowing that eventually we're going to rally everything back and kill our opponent with Mill or with Drain or whatever. Otherwise, Court of Calling, Eladrami's Call, find us whatever ally we need, Path to Exile for removal. Mana base wise, Ally Encampment and Cavern of Souls, good ally lands, also fix our mana. Bunch of fetches and shocks and triomes and basics. In the sideboard, we talked about Yarion being a blink plan. We get a couple more allies. Aghanim's Occultist lets us reanimate things from our opponent's graveyard with converted mana cost less than the number of allies we control. So in some matchups, this is just going to let us steal creatures every turn. Tuk Scrapper, really good at blowing up artifacts. Selfless Spirit, Veil of Summer, Shaper Sanctuary for protection. Fatal Push for a bit more removal. And that is Eerie allies. Enter the battlefield blink combo. Don't really worry about attacking. Mill them out with excavators or gay life with clerics or drain them with Diabolist allies from Alex HB. And that's been our Fishbowl Thursday instant deck tag for this week. So thanks again to Alec for sending it in. And once again, if you'd like your own deck considered for a future Fishbowl Thursday or the Fish Tank article series, leave me a link in the comments or email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon. Need some new Zendikar Rising cards? You can get them today from our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just head over to cardkingdom.com.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.